You can go ahead with your introduction, Prof.
Yes, Dr. Tajri, you can carry on now. You can just start it.
Yes, I think you can go ahead with your introduction for just a minute. Yes, Prof, can you hear me? Can I start?
Yeah, sure. Bismillah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think participant can hear me very clearly, right?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. And our today's training is about the Islamic finance and accounting, banking, and economics, which is being organized by the learners postcard, Islamic Batch Pakistan. And today we are going to start our first training and first series of training, which is the first session, inshallah. I'm glad to be here, Prof. I think you should pardon me being a professor. You pardoned your student in terms of any inconsistencies in our discussion. And we welcome all the participants. My name is Tijani Muhammad, which I will be with you, inshallah, on this series of session up to the end of it. Okay, let us go straight and direct to the topic, which we know where we are here for and the expected area we intend to cover. First of all, we are going to have an introduction and the concept of the following areas of Islamic banking, Islamic economics, Islamic finance, and Islamic accounting, which they are so significant to understand them before you go direct into the topic of discussion. First of all, we need to know what exactly Sharia is all about, because it's the backbone of everything. After understanding the Sharia, we are going to move into the Islamic finance. What is Islamic finance is all about. And also we have another area, Islamic accounting. We have Islamic economics. We have Islamic banking. So these are some areas that we need to look at it critically and also analyze it one after the other. But our today's session or discussion will look at those areas, just the definitions or concepts and what covers in terms of areas and also how each one interact with other. Okay, let us start with Sharia. Initially, when I say Sharia, we have misconception. Sharia, some people think that only Sharia is all about cutting hands, and also Sharia is all about when somebody stole the money, you have to cut his hand. Or Sharia is all about if somebody committed adultery or fornication, there are stipulated punishment. Yes, that part is also part of Sharia. But what Sharia is all about life. The entire life of humanity, Sharia is all about that. When we look at the issue called Sharia, first of all, Sharia compliance. But before we go to Sharia compliance, we need to know the Sharia in totality. Sharia it is being generated or is being seen as what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty Allah, Almighty God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stipulated to all mankind. That Sharia is not only about what we have stated only, but is considered the humanity or the humanitarian life is all about Sharia. You can live within the Sharia peacefully and also enjoying the life. Okay, let us talk about the issue of Sharia compliance, because now we are in the area of economy, accounting, and also transactions. So we are not talking about the issue of Sharia based on religious perspective, based on punishment, based on issue of fornication, adultery. Now we are talking about the Sharia based on accounting, economics, and also finance. So if we said Sharia compliance or Sharia law is being derived from Quran and Sunnah. When we say Quran, we are referring to Quran, the holy book being revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and prophetic tradition or teachings. When we say prophetic traditions, we are referring to the sayings, doing, actions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's all about Sharia. Sharia is all being derived from those two significant or important sources, which is Quran and Sunnah. Okay, the various verses from the Holy Quran is being talks about the issue related to transaction, the issue related to trade, the issue relevant to financial transaction. But we are going to look at that in our subsequent bulletin. But before we go that deeper, we wanted to state one or two areas where the Quran talks about the issue related to transaction. The Quran says in chapter 2, verse 275, Allah has permitted trade and forbidden usury. And also he stated in Quran chapter 2, verse 276, that Allah would deprive usury of all blessing, but will give increase for deeds of charity and many more verses in subsequent. But when we look at this in chapter 2, verse 275, Allah says, وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. That is, he permitted a trade. Whatever kind of trade is being permitted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but he forbid usury. And the second Quran verse, he says, all will be deprived, that is, Yamhaqullahu riba wa yurbi sadaqat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deprive usury of all blessing, but will give increase for deeds of charity. And many more verses. So if we look at it in the content of Sharia, Sharia is being disapproved or disassociate itself with something which are most significant areas, 4 or 5 significant areas that I need to mention to all of us. Number one is interest. Interest in Sharia is not allowed. Gambling in all Sharia or in all transaction, which is according to Sharia, is also not allowed. Speculation, all form of speculation is not allowed. Uncertainty, all form of uncertainty are not allowed in a Sharia compliance issue. So when we talk about the Sharia compliance, we are referring to interest, gambling, uncertainty, speculation, and uncertainty. Okay, it's not only Quran that covers such. Bible also stated in Leviticus 25:36 says, "Take no interest from him or profit, but fear your God, that your brother may live beside you." Some of the brothers and sisters who are Christians, they think that only Sharia compliance, when we talk about Sharia compliance, we are talking about the Islam alone. No, even Bible forbid taking interest, like you have seen it in the first verse of Leviticus. And also we have another one in 25:37, "You should not lend him your money at the interest, nor give him your food for profit." And also, if you look at Ezekiel 18, verse 8, Ezekiel 18:13, Ezekiel 22:12, and also Exodus 22:25. They all talks about the Sharia, and they also discuss issue relevant to a Sharia. Interest rate and other form of interest. Okay, before we go back to objective of Sharia, I would like also to mention some significant basic principles of Sharia. When we talk about the Ahallallahu al-Bai'a wa harrama riba, Allah permits trade and forbid usury, there are some important things that we need to consider, which we call permissibility as a general rule. In Sharia, all form of transaction is allowed. In Sharia, all form of transaction, please mind you, all form of transaction is allowed. That is the general rule. We say in Arabic, al-aslu fi shay'in al-hillu. That is the most fundamental part of everything in Sharia is permissible, except something that there's some prescriptions, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's prescription mentioned that that thing is not allowed. So in that direction, you take it and you strike it away. So when we talk about the permissibility as a general rule, the status of all matters other than the ritual is permissible until evidence is given that a certain matter is prohibited. When the evidence does not state that matter, please let us take it as a fundamental is allowed and people can interact with. Second point, when you are making a transaction, you have to have a consensus, to have a mutual concept between the first party and the second party. They are also fundamental. Mutual consent means that the contract entered into by a party should be free from any element of what? Coherence, fraud, misinterpretation, or other illegal means. These are the fundamental areas we need please to put in our mind when we are talking about the issue related to Sharia compliance. Okay, let us look at the issue of objective of Sharia based on Imam al-Ghazali. Imam al-Ghazali is one of the Islamic scholars who has contributed immensely towards the issue related to Islamic Sharia compliance issues. So let us look at the objective of Sharia, which we call it in Arabic Maqasid Sharia. In Maqasid Sharia, the first thing is the protection of religion. The protection of religion, that is preservation of religion and protection of deen under all circumstances. That is the first objective of Sharia, protection of religion. And the second part of it is protection of life. The preservation and protection of life under all circumstances. For instance, in order to protect life, you are to what? To enacting a severe punishment for all those kill another. In Sharia, Allah prescribed that whoever kills a human fellow, he must also, without it, it's not a mistake, it's not, if for instance, it's deliberately that the first person killed the second person, you are to be killed too. The first person has to be killed. But if it is not deliberately, there are some stipulation also related to that. We are not looking at that, but we need to understand also is part of protection of life is Sharia. Sharia is also protecting people's life. And number three, we are also to look at the lineage. That is the preservation and protection of descents of others. Honor under all circumstances, you need to honor such. Islam prohibits its followers in committing adultery or other immoral behavior. If you are, for instance, committed adultery and you give birth to another person, that would be abuse to the person that you gave birth to because he has no what? Lineage. But Sharia do protect such. That's why it do allows you to get married before you give birth to a child, so that the responsibility and moral behavior of that child will be associated with his lineage. And number four, the protection of intellect. When we look at it today, drug abuse has become something which is obvious. All of us are experiencing it. It's not male, it's not female gender. We have become so rampant in terms of associating ourselves with such. So in this, Sharia also prohibit taking something, any kind of substance that would affect or damage your intellect. That's why safeguard yourself in any might harm. The ability and function of brain is also protected by the Sharia. That's why we said number 4 is protection of intellect. Number 5, that's where our relevancy is, which is protection of property. When we look at the protection of property, that is our general connection with Maqasid Sharia. When we said objective of Sharia, what is the objective of Sharia? There are 5. We have stated the 4, and now the number 5 part of it is protection of property. The preservation and protection of property under all circumstances, Sharia do admonish, Sharia do serve those.
Yes.
Sorry, some voices are coming in, please. You can mute your mic, please. Okay. The proactive initiated and planning in safeguarding one's property against misfortunes or disaster, Sharia is also what? Sharia also advise or admonish such. So our classes would be based on protection of property, based on protection of property. So, but before we go deep into our classes, we need to look at what is Islamic finance, Islamic accounting, Islamic economics, Islamic banking. So if you look at it critically, you see where I put Islam and plus finance, Islam plus accounting, Islam plus economics, Islam plus banking. Islam is a something, and also finance is a something. So when you match them together, they give you another thing. But mind you, please, we should pay this in our mind, or we should just keep this in our mind. We shouldn't forget that Islam is not try to demonize or diminish the finance we are having it in the current society. No, Islam try to sanitize, desensitize, and also enhance how we promote or how we interact with our finances. Islam is trying to give us the way how we are to account for our accounting records. Islam is trying to give us the way how to move ourselves in terms of promoting our economics activities. And also Islamic is trying to give us a way to manage the banking sector, how we manage our banks and our financial transactions. Okay, let us start number 1 with the Islamic finance. All these are a combination of 2 words, like I've said it earlier. And now we are going to look at the definition. Okay, when we look at the finances, what is finance? Finance is a term for a matter regarding the management, creation, and study of money and investment. Specifically, it deals the question of how and why an individual or company or government acquires the money or acquires money. So finance is all about looking for investment, looking for money, how to manage it, how to create money, how to invest money. So in Islam also provided a ways how to manage your money, how to create your money in a meaningful way, how your money is being used and invest in a meaningful way. So if we are interested in understanding the finance in Islamic part of our own activities of economy. Okay, what do we need in finance to understand is how to acquire capital, how to call for the capital. And contents of this is how to spend and invest our money. These are the 2 things finances. Okay, what are the major areas of finance? We have heard how to manage our finances, how to create. The finance is all about management, it's all about creation, it's all about money investment, it's all about how and why we need to invest in a company or in a government acquired institutions. So if we look at it today, as I said, we are going to talk about the definitions. We are going to talk about how to relate those courses with the Islamic finance. So after we finish this, when we come to the deeper side of the Islamic banking, Islamic finance, Islamic economics, and Islamic accounting, I'm not expecting somebody to ask new issues or to ask questions about what is Islamic finance, what is finance is all about, because we have covered it in our essential discussion. Okay, let us look at the major areas we will be discussing in our subsequent classes, which is major areas of finance. We are going to discuss about the personal finance. We are going to discuss about the corporate finance. We are going to discuss about the public finance. So what is personal finance? Personal finance, it's how somebody will spend and saving his own money in order to consider the possibility of future risks to prevent his finances from collapsing. And that you can invest your finances through education, real estate, or buying insurance for instance, the health insurance and paying loan. So when we talk about the insurance, maybe somebody may ask question, insurance, is it all about, is it insurance is allowed in Islam? Yes, insurance is allowed. That's what we call takaful, but it's not practicing or it's not practicably applied the way the conventional insurance have been in operation. There are different kinds of operation. Finances is all about finances, but when we come to the issue of operation, that's where we differ. We are not moving all in the same direction, because the conventional insurance is deal with interest, is deal with speculation, is deal with uncertainty and also gambling. Is totally unacceptable under the Islamic perspective. Let us look at the many areas of personal finance as financial planning standard. When we talk about this, when we talk about the spending, income generation, and investment and protection as outlined by the Financial Planning Standard Board, we understand that there are some potentiality in personal financing. Number one, purchasing insurance to ensure protection against unforeseen personal event. When you are asked to purchase an insurance, what you are doing, you are trying to protect yourself from what? Unseen occurrences, unseen events. So in your personal, you gain it. We call that one as protection and investment. You invest and you protect yourself. Number two, understanding the effects of tax policy, tax subsidiaries or penalties, management of personal finances. Here, you are to understand the effect of tax policies so that you cannot exactly what you are to pay the tax and what you are not to pay the tax for. What are the penalties and how to subsidize your taxes? This one is also, we call it income stock protection. Number three, understanding the effect of credit on individual financial standing. So this one we call it protection, but because you need to understand the credit individual financial standing before you inquire or before you go into it. Number four, we have developing of savings plan or financing for a large purchase, home, auto. When we talk about the auto, we are talking about the auto financing, something like a car financing and motorcycle financing or other related financing and education. In my country here, I don't think that we are investing much more in education, because if you think about how education, people are just doing their education without investment. I'm just doing my education. Maybe at the end of the day, I can have a job, a good job, but it's not as an investment. I do not take it as an investment. Rather, some people may consider even doing that is a part of investment. Okay, this one we call it is also investment. And number five, planning a secure financial future in an environment of instability. We call this one also investment. And we have pursuing a check or savings account. That one is spending and protection. We prepare for our retirement long-term expenses. We call this one as also investment. Preparing for a retirement long-term expenses. It means you have to look for retirement. Okay, after I concluded my work, I conclusively conclude my work, what am I going to do? So you need to think of all these things. So we call this thing as investment and stock spending. So if we look at what FPSB stated, that is, the finance is all about, the personal finance is all about income generation, it's all about spending, it's all about investment, it's all about protection. That's what exactly we demonstrated here. Some are protections and investments, some are income protection, some are investment, and some are spending. So please, we need to take this, and in our subsequently classes, we are going to elaborate more on this issue of finances. Let us look at number 2, corporate finance. When we talk about the corporate finance, it's not a new thing. When we talk about the corporate, we are talking about the organizations, we are talking about the industries, we are talking about financial organizations, financial industries. So corporate finance deal with the sources of funding and the capital structure of cooperation. So if you look at it, I bold funding and capital structure of cooperation because they are two significant things which they must be before the corporate exists. Funding and capital structure of cooperation. We need to have those things. You fund the industry, and also you need to structure the capital of how cooperation will be handled. So when we look at this, we come to the issue of manager. That is how we can find a manager to manage and also increase the value of the firm to shareholders. That is where the information asymmetry or moral hazard, we call it in other ways, comes in. That is where the theory of what? The theory of agency problem will encounter here. For finance expert, they know the agency of theory. The agency theory is where the manager and stakeholders, they may have a conflict. The manager is looking for a way to maximize the shareholders' what? To maximize the shareholders' profit. And the shareholders are thinking that the managers are trying to maneuver the system in order to promote themselves. So the corporate finance is all about funding, capital structure, and how to get a manager that can manage your system to increase the value of the firm to the shareholders, which is a very difficult. In my locality here, we don't give them to manager too much because things are not much moving through their direction. So when we develop a place, first thing that will come to your mind is to hire a good manager. But after hiring a good manager, what do you expect from the manager? You are expecting the higher return. You are expecting the higher things to match under your own organization. But when unfortunately you have a manager that has something related to information asymmetry in his cupboard, so it becomes a difficult thing for you to manage. Please let us look at the areas to be discussed in our subsequent bulletin for our next coming classes. Main areas of corporate finance will be discussing about the short term and long term. The short term and long term under corporate finance. When we look at the short terms, we are talking about the loans are called such because of how quickly the loan need to be paid off. In most cases, it must be paid off within maybe 6 months to a year, at most 18 months. That is what we call it about the short term. And also the short term is being deals with working capital and related to cash inventory and debtor management. So when we talk about the short term, we are talking about the loans being issued, maybe to a financial manager, the loan being issued in terms of maybe cash or any relevant distance. So what about the Islamic finance? Are we going to issue a loan in a cash form of it? No. That is not how the Islamic finances operate. Now we are talking about the conventional financing plus Islamic financing in order to give the demarcation between the two. But how conventional finance operate? Is it the same thing the way the Islamic finance is being operates? No. There are some differences which to be discussed in our subsequent classes. Okay, let us look at the issue related to a long term. The long term can last for just over a year to 25 years. Depends on how the corporate generally involved in balancing the risks and profitability while attempting to maximize their entities of what? Asset, net income, cash flow, and the value of its stock. We have 3 areas also under it, which is primarily for us to consider. We have capital budgeting, selecting project to invest in, and we can look at the dividends policy, which use excess capital to pay the shareholders with, and we have another source of capital which is being funding, funding is to be used. That is source of capital. How do you source the capital, and how that will be enhanced in terms of financing or funding your projects. Let me just give an emphasis on 2 or 3 things here. Corporate finance is in a principles different from managerial finance. Corporate finance is different from managerial finance. Financial management overlaps at times with the financial functions or accounting professions. Financial accounting is
well, there is some delay in the sound. Some delay in the sounds.
Okay, sorry, I think the internet connection, right?
Yeah, might be.
Okay, sorry, but is it now clear?
Yeah, it is clear. Thank you.
Okay. So increase the firm of shareholders, value, increase their rates and rate of return. So please, we wanted us to understand the fundamental areas of finance, so that it will be very easier to us to discuss when we come to the issue of finance. Now, public finance. Public finance is also the general kind of finances that the community and also municipals and state and country are being embarked on. So which is, we have something called public finance is primarily concerned with some significant identification, which is required expenditure of public sector to be encountered, sources of revenue, that is the entity where the revenue is being generated, and we have the budgeting processes. So in a public domain or public finance, you are to budget and send the budgeting. Even in our normal finances, we need to do that, but it's lower compared to public finance. Has to be follow due process before come to reality. We have debt insurance, which is municipal bond and other public work project that need to be also put in place. But who are the responsible of this? Central Bank and Federal Reserve, which is considered as a Federal Reserve. They are the strong player of funding such activities because they are considered as a lender of last resort, as well as strong influencer of monetary and credit condition in the economy. So with that, I think the finance has some theories which we need also to think of it. Financial economy, we have a financial mathematics. We are going to talk about this experimental finance. We are going to talk about also behavioral finance. Now we have done with issue related to finance, which I hope for the finance people who are down there, participants, they have now just get the clue. How are we going to treat all those forms of finances to the Islamic, or how are we going to integrate Islamic finance, Islam with or Sharia compliance issue with the finances? And inshallah, in our subsequent classes, that would be demonstrated. Okay, let us look at the issue related to Islamic accounting. Accounting, like already discussed, or we as we have already discussed it in our previous discussion or in our recent discussion on finance, that is all about business recording, organizing and understanding the financial information. Once you have this, you understand how accounts operates. And there are some people who are the users, or there are some significant people do consider, or categories of individuals do consider as users of financial information. Number one, we have internal and external users. Internal users, they use this to analyze their finances, to promote their finances, to enhance their finances, which chief executive is part of it, financial officer, business unit, managers. Chief executive will analyze how their finances is being managed. Financial officer will look at the in and out of their cash flows, and business unit can look at what have you recorded so far and how to enhance our activities. Managers also, they are to look at how they are managing these businesses, or how they are managing in terms of financial institution or any organization that has such individuals. Okay, these are the kind of categories. They are not alone. They are not only people that are being considered as internal users of accounting information, but there are several. But we selected those key officers to demonstrate how their presence are significant in terms of using accounting information. We have external users of accounting information, such as stakeholders, potential investors, and also tax authority. If they wanted to have their taxes, they need also to look at your own tax authority. They need to look at your own accounting information to assess their taxes, and also something related to tax. Regulatory agencies also, they are part of it. So these are the two areas, internal and external accounting users. We have branches of accounting, which we are going to discuss in our subsequent bulletin. Financial reporting. Now, financial reporting has become something so decent in our contemporary society, because now we are having something called value-based financial reporting. Value-based, which they are not longer looking at the financial reporting just like that, but you are to report your financial transactions and other transactions based on value-based. We have cost accounting, we have auditing, we have taxation, we have finances, and we have also management accounting. And all these are being, they have a Islamic organization that has been discussed or been spelled out all these areas to access a very simple accounting and auditing in terms of what? In terms of financial branches of accounting. Because we have one organization called Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institution, IIEF, we call it IIEF. They have spelled out all these areas I'm discussing, only for you to grab the copy of the book or the material and look at it. You can see where I'll be required in accounting-based value reporting. It's not conventional reporting, base value required reporting. And this IIEF, I just gave their brief listing. They are a non-profit organization which was established in Bahrain, and also they have various areas in terms of accounting and auditing, in terms of taxation and finance. They have various areas of professionals. They train people, they train experts, and also they have Islamic legal accounting program. And also the recent thing that is being discussed in accounting is forensic account or auditing or accounting, and etc. They are there and many more. The purpose of this organization is to enhance and harmonize the international Islamic finance practices and financial reporting in accordance to Sharia. This is the purpose of the developing or to make this organization function, is to harmonize all Islamic financial issues to be under IIEF. And look at the functions of our accounting. Accounting information can be used for decision making, as we said earlier. Accounting records are used for tax assessment. Like I've said, it provides permanent record for all transactions. It's helped determine the profitability of business concern. Also helps to prevent fraudulent practices in a system. The record shows the income and expenditure, and also the record provides a means by which the finance of a business is controlled, and also the assets and liability are shown by the accounting records. So all these things are the areas that need to be discussed in our Islamic accounting class, which inshallah we are preparing it, will be on our way. And the next thing, let us see how Islamic economics and how Islamic economics uses in terms of economics. Economics experts, they categorize economics into two categories per se. We have microeconomy and we have microeconomy. The same thing Islam has micro way of dealing with the economy and also has a macro way of what? Dealing with macroeconomy way of it. If you look at it, meaning of economy initially is deals with the branch of economy that studied the behavior of human and individual, customers, firm, and family, which is known as microeconomy. So any kind of branches in the economy studied by an individual in terms of behavior of that customer need to be in line with the Sharia principles, Sharia compliance. Sharia that will make the economy to be viable. Make economy to be viable. When we look at the second part of it, which is a branch of economy that study the whole economy, both national and international. Both national and international. So the microeconomy gingered the macroeconomy. You cannot have the sound economy without being mindful with the microeconomy. That's why today you can see the federal government of Nigeria, for instance, for those participants that are here in Nigeria, are gingering SMEs, promoting them, giving them loan, free loan or loan with 0% interest, because they know what? After promoting the local economy, it will move the national and both the international economy to be sound. So by giving a tailor, by giving a farmer, by giving a pakneza, or by giving somebody who has a small, medium enterprises to finance, because it's the needs nearest to the individual that in needs of that kind of product, will ginger and enhance your own growth of GDP. So we are talking about the real economy. When we talk about the real economy, at the grassroots economy, which gingered the both national and international, as known as microeconomy. So let us look at the second area, which is individual. The microeconomy deals with the business application in terms of individual economic variables applied to the operational and internal issues, that is locally. But when we look at the Islamic microfinance microeconomy is deal with the application of aggregate economic variable, environmental and external issues. We are going to look at the scopes of the microeconomy, which covers various issues like demand, supply, product pricing, production, consumption, economic welfare. Well, if we look at the scope of macroeconomy, it covers something like issue related to national income, general price level distribution and employment, money, etc. Also, when we look at the importance areas, we look at helpful in determining the prices of a product. That is the importance of microeconomy, is gingering in terms of determining the price of product along with the prices of factors, production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurs with the economy. While if we look at the macroeconomy, it maintains the stability in the general price level, resolve the problem in the country like inflation, for instance, deflation, reflection, and also unemployment and poverty as a whole. That's how macroeconomy deals. When we look at the limitation also, it's based on unrealistic consumption. That is the microeconomy, which deals with something like thinking that the country are fully engaged with the employment, which is not. In the reality, it's not like that. So it's deal with microeconomy. It is assumed that there is a full employment in the society, which is not possible to be like that. But limitation in macroeconomy, it has been analyzed that fallacy of composition involve, which sometimes doesn't prove true, because it is possible that what is true aggregate may not be true for the individual. So in limitation in a microeconomy, it seems like promoting such, but in the obvious way of it, we consider it as a what? Fallacy of composition. That's how Islamic macroeconomics will be discussed too, and please you be with us. Now let us go to the Islamic banking, which is the model of our discussion. What is Islamic banking? Islamic banking is a kind of banking, decent banking, that promotes asset-based banking than loan or than cash-based. But in our contemporary banking or conventional banking per se, we can see banking is referred to as a business activity of accepting all safeguard money owned by individual and entity, which is the same with what? With Islam. But in operation, that's where they differed. And then lending out the money in order to conduct economic activities, such as making profit or simply covering operating expenses. That is initially what banks is all about. But when we look at it in terms of Islamic, it's different totally, because Islamic banking is all about value-based, which we are going to discuss what is value-based is all about. It's not that it's denying promoting maximization of what? Profit. No, it's all about maximization of profit, but also it's value-based in terms of what? Covering the operational expenses, in terms of what? Simply making profit from other people. It's valuable based in terms of looking at all such kind of areas. Okay, let us look at the types of banking we're having. We have retail banks, deals with the types of transaction from the different angle, including saving, loans, mortgages, and also considered as a commercial bank. Today, our commercial banks and other banks are rendering services which are interwoven, which seems to be the same. But we are going to discuss that one later. We have another investment bank focused on providing cooperation client with the complex services and financial transaction. Investment bank focuses on providing corporate clients with the complex services. The word complex services will also be looked into it in our subsequent bulletin. Community bank, we have community bank. Those community banks, they are the one nearest to Islamic bank, which operates based on community needs, and people are interacting with it because they are in need of finances. The activities of the bank activities consist of the following as we have something called we have opening account for customers, we have store money for customers, which is classical of banking activities. Storing money, which is the classical, is the fundamental thing. We have another thing, we call it facilitate payment, which enable the customer to pay order in both papers and electronic. And we have another activities that banks takes, which loaning money to other people, which allow the bank financial institution to earn money as approved by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC. These are the things we need to see, and we need to look at it one after the other and discuss it one after the other in order to have a full understanding of what is Islamic accounting, what is Islamic finance, what is Islamic banking, and what is Islamic economics. We just give this one as a highlight. We try to compose them in a single class so that it won't be giving us difficulties when we come to the issue related to each and every aspect of it, because we have a fundamental and also introduction about each and every one. So I hope this presentation is useful to all of us, and thank you very much for listening, and handing over to you, Prof, for your comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Before the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tajani. It was an excellent presentation. I really learned many things in it. So I am going to be, so I have decided during your discussion that I should be the regular student of this class session.
Thank you, Prof.
I would like to say a few things to your students.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity for me. So Assalamu alaikum, dear ladies and gentlemen. It's the evening. So good evening from Islamabad. And it's my pleasure and honor to welcome you on the Learners Podcast, Islamabad, Pakistan. And I also welcome you on behalf of the Federal Urdu University, Islamabad, Pakistan. I'm thankful to Dr. Tijani. I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, Dr. Tijani, your name.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
I'm thankful to Dr. Tijani for choosing the Learners Podcast Forum for this training. My name is Muhammad Musa Kaleem. I am a professor at the Federal Urdu University in the Department of Business Administration. Beside this, I'm also in charge Student Placement Bureau in the university. So overall, I have about 20 years experience of teaching at the university level, besides my experience in the industry. So I started this Learners Podcast in the March 2020 during the COVID-19 lockdown, just to keep the continuation of the students and faculty development activities using the online forums, online platforms. The Learners Podcast is an education forum basically, and that works for the students and the faculty developments in a collaborative manner. So in a short time, we were successful in launching some very effective training sessions, some webinars, some lectures, and today's session is also a part of that. And I have received the support from the friend like my brother, Dr. Tijani, who always supported me in my mission to provide and share the knowledge and the social good. And this is going to be the first international collaborative training session that will also go live on the YouTube. Recently, we have initiated another international dialogue on the interdisciplinary research to help the researcher and the research scholars to clear their concepts about the research. So at the end of this training course, the Learner Podcast will be happy to award you the eCertificates to all the participants. That will not only be verifiable online for life, but plus also it will add value to your educational pursuits. Well, during this training, with these lectures that you will find on the YouTube, there will be the discussion question given in the description of the lecture video. All right. And all the participants have to give their point of view in the comment section of that video related to that question. I mean, while answering that question, while discussing that question, you can just comment in the comment section of that video. And this activity will also help the people of the different countries. Your stay while during this trainings with this training will be, I hope it will be the memorable one. And this will bring our people, people of your countries and people of our countries together, because definitely my students here will also join these sessions in the future to attend this training program. Okay. So, well, Islamabad, this is the capital of Pakistan. It's a beautiful city. It's a kind of a multicultural city as well, because the people from being the capital, the people from many countries are living here in a peaceful and a friendly environment. And there are many good universities as well, higher education institutions, having the classes, having the courses from the BS to the PhD level. So at the end, I would say thank you very much to all of you. And I would like to have your appreciation and the acknowledgement for these learning initiatives by sharing and subscribing the Learners Podcast channels. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof, for your very wonderful comment. I don't know if there is anyone who has, because I haven't seen any question in our group section. Have you seen it, Prof?
Dr. Tijani, you can just, if you can just turn your screen off. Can you turn off your screen?
Okay, my screen, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, is there any questions? Anyone can, I haven't seen any question in our chat box.
Okay, let me check it. Well, there is no such question related to the lecture, Aman, right now. So generally, you can openly invite if anyone is having the question like this, someone is raising the hand. So this is Modu Kim, if you can see it.
Modu Kim, okay.
Yeah, if you can, I'm just, yeah, okay. Speak, please.
Okay, Modu Kim, go ahead.
Right. Yeah, everything now I'm very.
Unmute your mic, please. Mr. Tijani, say him to unmute his mic.
Yes, Modu, you can unmute your mic. I can see him unmuting it.
Yeah.
Unmute your mic, Modu.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm asking either we can able to get PDF for this lecture since we have group through WhatsApp and other things.
Yes, of course. We are going to send that to WhatsApp group and also to our class, Google Class too.
Okay, so after then, can we get either we can able to record this lecture to running live chat under that Zoom?
Yes, we are going to make it available on
YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah.
And also International Islamic Finance YouTube. But you check Learner broadcast first. It will be available there, inshallah.
It's under YouTube or Instagram or Facebook.
YouTube initially, but we are going to share the link. We are going to share the link in my Facebook and Learner broadcast Facebook too for easy assessment.
Yeah. Basically, it would be uploaded on the YouTube, and where from there anyone can watch it easily and can also share the links to the other people. Okay, thank you. Okay, Ahmed, Mr. Ahmed, just turn off your mic, unmute your mic.
All right, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon from Nigeria. I'm asking about the time for this thing. Is it going to be 2 p.m. every day, or there are select?
Yes, if I get you, because you got interrupted a little. If I understand you, you are asking about the time, when the time for the lectures, or that's a series of the training. So I think we have to maintain Sunday 2 p.m. because the lecture need to be prepared, and also a lot of things need to set aside, and also we need to have a very large discussion on the issue related to each topic we propose to discuss. So it has to be maybe weekly, and by 2 p.m. Sunday, every Sunday 2 p.m. By God's grace, we are going to host this training, inshallah.
All right, thank you very much. Jazakallah khair, sir.
My pleasure, thank you.
Okay, this is Mr. Ismail. Mr. Ismail. Yeah, Mr. Ismail.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tijani. Barakallahu
My pleasure.
Ismail from Nigeria. So I would like to ask a question and advice. Actually, I'm a PhD student of Sharia Usul al-Fiqh, but I'm having interest in Islamic finance and Islamic transaction due to the advertisement that is going on these days about Islamic economy. So what is your advice to pursue that way of study? Even currently now, I'm trying to combine my PhD research with Islamic economy, which I've not so be with in this conventional way. Although we read what is called the Mu'amalat al-Maliyya and all those subjects that you know, sir. But I'm saying that some people say that this field of studies is not as we think, that you Islamize the study, but we're supposed to have fundamental knowledge about finance itself aside before combining with any Islamic or something. So I would like your advice, sir. May Allah bless you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Ismail Muhammad. I think it's a very good question, which I have to admonish you in two ways.
Okay, sir.
If you are a Sharia PhD, you have a way, or you have a room to actualize your dream. Number one, being a Sharia PhD, you can be a Sharia advisor in any financial institution if you wishes. But the biggest issue, definitely, if you want to be somebody renowned or somebody that can discuss on the field, you have to learn these fundamental areas I discussed. The reason why I even started with those areas, Islamic accounting, Islamic finance, because I know we have a different background here. Some they are from finance, some from their Islamic studies, and some there. So it's not only a single area you are just to pick and think that, yes, this is the way out for your own career. It's not. You have to look for the finance also, but the finance, how finance, conventional finance operates, and how accounting are being managed, and how economics are being actualized. That is how they operate, or the economics is being matched to the system before you understand how to turn it into your what Islamic economic system or Islamic accounting or the whole area into an entity. Let me just go back to what we have discussed briefly. You said you are from Sharia background. The Sharia background, that is the most fundamental thing for you to know. But we have some misconception. Some things that the Islamic finance is all about Islamizing or taking side. Only Muslims can interact with such finances. No, that is a wrong understanding. That is a wrong perception. In here, I can see there are some non-Muslim students who are from various who are coming from various universities. They are interacting with us here. I'm teaching in one of the universities here in Nigeria. I have students who are not Muslims, and they want to learn what is Sharia is all about. Sharia is to understand it and also practicalize it. If you look at what we are talking about it based on Sharia, you can see it. When you look at the Bible area, there are some issues related to what we have said, only that people are ignoring what the Bibles are saying, and think that, yes, the decent kind of financial transaction is only attributed to Islam alone. But when you go back to the Bible, you can see those things. So I will admonish you, definitely, if you want to embark in such journey, you have a good distinct. Number one, you have acquired the most important part of it, which is the Sharia. Sharia is the fundamental area for you to understand it before going to the other field. So after understanding the Sharia, as you have already stated, you are a Sharia PhD candidate, you have to start looking at the issue related to economics. You have to start looking at the issue related to finance. You have to, at the bottom, not go too deep into it. Start understanding the bottom, the fundamentals. Did you get it? So it will allow you to start having more knowledge about that. Even more of our Islamic scholars, those who are more prominent or per se, they are not well deserve this thing in the field of Islamic economics today. They are not finance. They are not finance experts. They are not accounting experts. They are not even economics experts. They are what? Islamic religious scholars like Taqi Usman, like Sheikh Taqi Uddin Usmani. He's not an economist. He's a mufti. Did you get it?
Sure.
But now they have become renowned scholars that they can speak in the field and also impart knowledge to others. So what I'm advising or admonishing you, first of all, you need to look at the issue related to Sharia, which is the fundamental area, and you go to start learning bit and bit from economics, from accounting, and also from finance and also banking. These are the areas you need to cover. And inshallah, you will get the benefits.
Barakallah fikum. Sorry, I would like to just to add a question about IIEF that you just mentioned.
Yes.
So actually, it has to be private question, but let me take the advantage to ask, because the auditing the IIEF in Bahrain,
yes,
is my case of study now that I want to do research about.
Yes.
The al-ma'ayir al-shar'iyya,
yes,
the al-ma'ayir al-shar'iyya. So I wanted to look at the al-qawaid al-usuliyya wal-fiqhiyya al-mu'athira fi al-ma'ayir al-shar'iyya. So I would like, what is your advice on that?
Okay.
Because you just mentioned
IIEF. IIEF is the one of the this thing is based in Bahrain, like I've said, and it's not for profit organization. They are just established to maintain the standards and harmonize the international Islamic finance policies. Did you get it? And practices and financial reporting in accordance to Sharia. So I think I will give you more this thing on that. I will share my mail. Just you text me through my email, or yes, so that we can discuss that more. I will assist you. This is a public domain that needs some privacy, so I can guide you more on that issue, inshallah.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, okay. Next is Muhammad Salahuddin, I think, if he is there.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My regards to Dr. Tijani Muhammad and our Honorable Prof. It has been a very, very interesting class. May Allah reward both of you abundantly.
Thank you.
My question goes thus. Indeed, I want to specialize in this field. Of course, if not for the COVID issue, I ought to have applied for PhD here in Nigeria. However, you have answered some of the questions which I have wished to ask, even if I would like to have some private chat with you later. Yeah, and that is regarding if one wants to specialize in this Islamic economic, does he really need to study economics conventionally, or banking and finance, or being an accountant, things like this? Then how is it possible that someone that is specialized in Islamic economics is also a chartered accountant? That aside, secondly, I want to ask, for how many weeks would these lectures last? Then thirdly, are we going to be having practicals in form of assignments? I would like to know, most especially, how to practicalize what we are learning, having assignments that will be practical. Thank you very much.
Yeah, first, Dr. Tijani, just answer, then I will answer him.
Okay, thank you, Ustaz Muhammad Salahuddin. Thank you very much for such questions. They are very wonderful questions. Number one, let me start with the one that you stated, that is it possible for you to start learning conventional economy before even going to Islamic economy? No, learning conventional economy is just a plus to you, because now you know that if you are talking about the Islamic economy without cutting the conventional economy, some people, they may not even understand what you are trying to focus on. But by giving the conventional economy and linked with the Islamic economy, it gives a nice picture to someone. So they will see how value-based economic system is all about. It's not about maximization. It's not of profit. It's not about how to build yourself, or normal way that we know economic system is being operates. But when you match them together, they will find the benefit. So that's why I've been saying, please, if somebody wants to study this, at least he must learn the fundamental things through through conventional economy before he speaks on Islamic economy, so that it would be more sugar-tatic to that area. And second thing about the issue of conducting this, how many weeks it will take us? I think we wanted to spare this this training for, I think, at least 2 months. You get it? That is, I think, 2 months. But we have maybe we can have some break at the middle of the weeks. I don't know. Actually, the term or Prof will shed more light on that, or later on after finalizing it, we can give a breakdown of the timetable, how we are going to do this thing. And also your third question by saying that is there any practical assignment will be given? Of course, because our certificate of Islamabad is so renowned certificate, which the postcard is really is a very known organization, which is the Prof non-prof. So we can't just give a certificate without issuing an assignment, practical things for the participant to go through it and also assess how are they understanding this or not, so that we can have more understanding on what we are doing. So we need to have some assignments along the way, and also mark the assignment and give score to each candidate, and also issue the certificate at the end of the day. Thank you. Prof,
Thank
you
you
want to say something?
Well, Mr. Salahuddin, thing is this. Basically, the purpose of conducting these session is that we learn something, that the participants should improve their skills, should enhance their skills, and not only enhancing the skill, plus also they should be able to apply these skills in their practical life. Okay, so that's the basically reason of conducting these trainings and these sessions. Okay, so the thing is this: the platform that you are using, that is an online platform, and this online platform is new for all of us. I mean, during the COVID, we have started it. We have initiated it, and we have just to maintain my job is to keep the quality at a professional level. Okay, if I just give the certificates without checking anyone, either he is attending or not attending, or evaluating the students, that will just degrade the quality of the certificates. So definitely the assignments would be there, the evaluations would be there. For the evaluation and assignment, I will be discussing with the Dr. Tajani that what kind of assignments he will deliver you. So we have the Google Class available for you. In the Google Class, the assignments will be uploaded, and the supporting video how to upload those assignments that I've already provided in the Google Class. So I will be further providing you. If anyone needs some kind of difficulty in uploading them, we can help you out in that. Okay. And second thing is the quizzes. Quizzes would be the regular session, the activity. In every week, we are trying to have to give you the quiz that would be an online quiz, and that would be through the Google Forms. Okay. After the session, and for example, in the coming session, we will be having the online quiz for the things that we have discussed in this session. Okay. So I will be organizing the things. I will be discussing the things with Mr. Tajani, and then we will decide what to do. And plan of action, and all the plan of action will be delivered to you. Okay, in time.
Thank you, Prof. Jazakallah khairan.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, is there anyone?
Okay, this is Mr. Ahmad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just want to thank the organizers of this beautiful program. However, my only question is that after the end of this training, is there any provision for some of us who may have one or two interests in furthering this training, probably by going for masters or PhD in Islamic finance or economics? What advice, is there any provision for the organizers for us to go for masters or PhD in Islamic finance? Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Okay. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for such a wonderful question. The training, you know, in all fields of training, there is a specification. So it's possible if you wanted to go into the line of Islamic economics or Islamic finance, you may seek an admonishment from one of the experts. For instance, somebody that maybe told you can advise you to go for this. But the certificate also it will enhance your application capacity, because the certificate is showing that you have undergone social training. So you are going to apply for your MAC and they have seen the certificate attached to it. It will enhance your own application in order to be accommodated. Did you get it? So I think it's a very good question, and also it will help if you want to go to the field. You may seek admonishment from the experts, or also from one of us that is talking to you now. We can recommend you a institution or university, or even to help you in terms of filling your application, so that will not be the problem. But the certificate enhance your own acceptability.
Mr. Tajani, another thing is that this certificate is basically assurance that we have conducted the training and you have received the training. Okay, and that certificate can be verifiable through our blog, the learnerspodcastisb.com. I will be sharing the link with you, and that link will also be placed on your certificate as well. So anyone can check. You can check the validity of the certificate from that blog. So this is a verifiable certificate for you. Thank you. Okay, next one is Mr. Salau. I think he has already asked the question.
Yes.
Mr. Abdullahi. It's difficult for me to pronounce the names.
Okay.
Dan Fordio.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am Abdullahi Damfodio Afa from Bauchi State, Nigeria. My question is, the certificate mentioned, or I can say called eCertificate, is there any provision for one to apply for a hard copy of it after the delivery of the eCertificate at the end of the
it's a good question. It's a good question, and many students ask this question. But thing is this: basically, we are a non-profit organization. Okay, first of all, we are not, just conducting free of cost these trainings. So for printing and all these, sending this cost money. So we don't want to indulge ourselves into these matters of, where some kind of fees and these kind of things can be held. Okay, so eCertificate is nowadays eCertificates are the renowned is a renowned practice all over the world. Even when we attend the seminars, when we attend the conferences, we receive the eCertificates from the various organizations. So we will be just confined to ourselves to the eCertificates.
All right, thank you.
An additional thing on it. Abdullah. What I want to add on, the printed one, you can print it and keep it with you. The e-copy and the printed copy, they are the same thing. And even you are applying for something, are you getting me? Even you apply for something and attach that certificate with it, is also recommendable and also acceptable. So you can print the e-copy and keep it in your document. If somebody wanted to verify the copy, can go directly through the link and search for it. Have you attended this or not? From there, the person will verify the authenticity of the certificate. So it's nothing.
Thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khair.
Okay, Tajini, I think we should wind up the session.
Okay, so thank you so much, Prof, for your kind patience, and also I thank the participant who spare their time and join us with this wonderful listing. Our subsequent one will be more interested. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz. I'm just going to close the session.
Okay, thank you, sir.